Okay, so this is the March 2018 user meeting. And hopefully this is the last user meeting where we discuss add to text, so woo! If you're just joining the meeting, please comment with the agency you are with so we know who's on the line. And then we'll just go ahead and get started. So on the phone from 211 is Erin Dierick, Casey Parnas, Adriana McCarty, Maya Lee, Chris Powell, and Elizabeth Agradano. So here's our agenda today. It's fairly short, so we may not need the full hour. We're going to talk about NOFA ranking, a quick Happy Fox ticket demo, a HCPIT update, a Children's and Families Commission update, the data quality report cards, and then finish up with where we are with the Clarity migration. So first, let me make sure Casey can present, and then she'll get started. Casey?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Erin, can you let me share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we sent out an email to all of the agencies that have, you can't see my screen?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we sent out an email, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, to all agencies that have a COC funded project, letting them know that we are not going forward with the project performance report for 2017 until we've migrated to Clarity. So the reporting period for that project performance report will be January 1st through December 31st, 2017. And we're going to complete that report once we've migrated to Clarity, just to avoid some of the issues that we've been having with AdsysTech version 6. So we had to do something to prepare for the NOFA ranking since we're not quite sure when that's going to happen. So we decided to collect each COC funded project's latest submitted APR, and we are compiling that data to use as the 2018 competition ranking. We have compiled that data, and the thresholds and point allocations will be discussed for each measure at the ED meeting this Friday, March 9th, and then again at the COC board meeting on March 16th. So here we've included a list of the measures that will be included on the 2018 NOFA ranking. So if you have any questions about this, let us know. The data has all been compiled, and since we're using data from APRs that have already been submitted to HUD, there's no need for corrections. So it's pretty much done. We're just waiting for these next 2 meetings to get finalization on the allocation of points and the thresholds for each measure. Looks like we're not, are we getting questions, Erin?
I am not seeing any questions yet.
Okay. So we can move on then to the Happy Fox demo. Can you see the help desk now, Erin?
Yeah.
Okay. So we wanted to do a quick demo on the HMIS help desk because we've gotten some confusion lately with users logging into HMIS and coming over here to this drop down that says ticket and manage my ticket and submitting tickets this way. But we do not receive tickets that are entered here, so this should never be used. The only way to submit tickets to the HMIS help desk is through this page. We include this link a lot in our user meeting minutes, and if you go to ochmis.org and you click on this blue button down here in the middle. It says HMIS Help Desk. It'll take you right to here. So when you first come to the help desk, you want to try typing in a keyword related to whatever question you have. So a common issue that we come across is agencies not being able to add services for some reason. So you would come here, type in service, and then you'd see this link that says can't add services. So this knowledge base article might be able to help solve your issue. So this article just kind of goes over different reasons why you might not be able to add services or case notes or household history updates. So maybe that would solve your problem. If not, you can click this link up here at the top right that says submit ticket. And this is how you submit a ticket to the HMIS help desk. So this is the only way to get written tickets to us. So the first thing is you select a category. If you're having a problem in HMIS, like entering services, you would select pages. This isn't extremely important. It just kind of helps us organize on the back end. And then you can select a priority level and your preferred contact type. If you select email response to ticket, you will get a response from us in your email. If you select phone call, make sure to enter your phone number somewhere in the message, and then we will call you to discuss your issue. So then you just want to write a descriptive subject and a detailed message. And then you come down to the bottom. If you need to attach a file, you can do that here, or if you want to CC someone on your ticket, like a coworker, you can enter their email. That way they will get a copy of the ticket you submit and any replies that we send to the ticket. And then you want to just enter your full name, email address, phone number is optional, and select your agency from the dropdown. Then you click create ticket and it gets sent to us. So looks like we don't have any questions yet. I think that's it, Erin.
All right. So, Elizabeth, do you want to give the HCPIT update?
Yes.
Hold on, just like bring them. Okay.
Okay, so just a quick update on the HCPIT. First, I'd like to say thank you to everyone for their work in submitting the HCPIT forms. We had 72% of submissions received on time, which we know was more difficult this year considering the system that we're working with, so we appreciate all your work. At the moment, Maya and I are halfway through the first revision of the HCPIT forms, and 32% of all the forms are in the final review stage, which means they're undergoing the last pass before being accepted as the agency submission to what we will eventually send to HUD. And if you haven't received any feedback from us yet, you should be getting an email within the next few days with our first pass revision of your forms. One important update is that this week we are holding revision open office sessions, which are an opportunity to meet one-on-one to go over feedback and questions needed to pass the forms on to final review. These are essentially meetings to complete forms collaboratively. And if you have any outstanding questions on your feedback or having trouble finalizing your forms, consider meeting with us one-on-one. To do this, please RSVP for one of these meetings by submitting a ticket under the HCPIT category, the way that Casey just demonstrated. And in your ticket submission, please let us know what your preferred time and date to meet is. We have a list of all the available times and dates for these HCPIT revision sessions on our calendar, and we've linked to the calendar there. And as a reminder, the goal is to finalize all the data by April 1st. So that's about it for the HCPIT update.
Okay, I'm just checking if any questions came in. All right, so next, a quick update on Children's and Families Commission. As some of you know, we've been having issues with getting the Children's and Families Commission data into HMIS since the migration to version 6. So I've been in communication with Margarita on this. I'm sure some of you have as well. So she's planning to schedule a meeting with the Children's and Families Commission providers this month to figure out how we want to track this data for the remainder of the fiscal year, and then also what our plan will be once we get into clarity. So if you get an email from her, please respond so she knows your availability so we can get together and talk about this so everybody is on the same page. Report card update. Let me make sure Adriana's unmuted. Okay, Adriana?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, I really want to thank you all for doing your data quality corrections and cleaning up your data. We really appreciate your efforts considering all the things that we're going through right now. And this is a very important endeavor because all the corrections that you have made in the last 3 weeks are going to be migrated over to Clarity. So this is going to improve our data quality for the new system. So this is really important. So thank you for doing that. With that being said, we're now moving forward for doing the report cards for Q3 and Q4 of 2017. So this means that we're not going to be calculating the average data quality score for all the projects as we announced in the previous user meeting, in-person user meeting. And the reason for this is because the issues that we have encountered with the report haven't been fixed yet. Some of you already know that we still have some outstanding tickets in our help desk that the vendor hasn't solved. And also this Monday, the day before yesterday, the vendor notified that there's a different way that their report is pulling data. And this is causing that some of the updates and some of the corrections that you have made are not being correctly implemented in the report. So the report is not capturing them. And of course, if the report is not capturing the corrections and if we still have issues, we are not going to use it to assess the current situation of data quality with your projects. So is there any questions so far?
And so just to add to that, the good news is the corrections that you're making are showing up on the exports that we're doing to Clarity, so the corrections will be migrated over. It's just the data quality details report is pulling the data differently than the export, so that's why they're not showing up there and why we're not moving forward with the report card. So your data is going to show up in Clarity. The fixes are going to show up in Clarity. It's just not on the specific report.
Yeah, thank you for reiterating that because it's important for us that you know that the time you spent doing the corrections was not in vain. And we're just going to wait until we're fully moved into Clarity to continue doing the report cards, the data quality report cards, and also the data timeliness. So yeah, that will be all for data quality report cards.
Okay, and I haven't seen any questions yet, so I'll keep going. Okay, Clarity update. So what we've been working on, all of the projects have been set up in the Clarity software. So that's good news. That was a lot of work. And so now what we're kind of working on is we are finding that there are a couple projects that are missing from the CSV export. So we're working on fixing that. While we are doing that, BitFocus is working on running a test migration. So we've given them an export, and they are going to import it into their system and map everything and see if everything is working correctly before we send them the final export. And so the data that we're including in our export is any enrollments that were active as of October 1st, 2014. That's a change that was decided on in the last data meeting. And we've also found out that in order for enrollments to be included on the export, they have to be verified and have a service or case note provided in order to be migrated. So we're working on potentially having AdsysTech run a script to add a service to any verified enrollments to ensure that they are migrated over. We'll have to provide more information on that, but that's what we've learned at this point. Tomorrow, there is a Train the Trainer webinar scheduled. So this is going to be an optional webinar for agency administrators that want to see clarity and have a little extra training before we release the user training. It will be hosted by BitFocus. And on the original invite, it said it would be 3 hours from 10 to 1, but I heard today that they're thinking it's going to be more like 2. So if you aren't planning on seeing that webinar, please consider it because it'll just give you an extra look at the system. We're planning for online user training to be released the week of the 19th. And that will be for any users that want to access the Clarity software. And we've also heard an official date when we should be sending our final export to BitFocus. So that will be the end of day March 23rd. So what we're asking from the agencies is that any data that you want migrated over to the Clarity software should be entered into our current HMIS software by 4 p.m. on March 23rd. After that time, we will be running the export and sending it to BitFocus, so any corrections in HMIS after that date and time will not be migrated. So we also put together a migration timeline, and in the PowerPoint that we'll put on our website is a link to the full timeline so you can see the history of where we've been and where we're going. But I kind of wanted to highlight what we've been up to the past month or two. So mostly we've been working on correcting data issues on the export with projects missing or enrollments being duplicated, those kind of issues. We've been doing the project setups. BitFocus is doing some data transformation scripts, so any data that they can fix for us, they are doing that, and then doing their test migration. And then in March, there will be the trainings that we talked about, as well as more cleanup and testing and reviewing of the data once it's in Clarity. And then we're anticipating going live with BitFocus on April 2nd, because since that's a Monday. Initially it was going to be April 1st, but that's a Sunday. And then once that happens, all of the HUD standard data will be available in Clarity, and then we will begin working on custom data in HMIS, as well as coordinated entry data. And we'll begin working on that data and getting that migrated in and expect to go live with that data June 1st. So at this point, there are a few action items for agency administrators regarding the Clarity migration. So first would be to plan to attend the webinar scheduled for tomorrow that BitFocus is hosting. We are also requesting that each agency enter a ticket to the help desk by March 16th with a list of all of your users that you would like to use Clarity as of April 2nd. And include their first name, last name, and email address. And of those users, make sure that they have all completed the 2017 data standards training that is currently available on our training site. And then also make sure they complete the Clarity user training that we will be releasing the week of the 19th. Also, ensure that any active enrollments at your agency are verified and have a service or case note provided by March 23rd. And we'll provide more information on that if we're able to get AdsysTech to create a script for us. We will also be releasing in the next week or two paper forms that you may want to use to track any changes in your data between March 23rd and April 2nd, since we will not have, I mean, technically we'll still have an HMIS database, but we won't have anywhere that you can enter new data that will show up in the Clarity system. So you may choose to use our paper forms, so we'll send those out in the next week or two. And finally, if you are a COC funded agency, or even if you're not and you have any upcoming reports that are due, specifically APRs, but it could be other reports, please try and make those corrections and submit those reports ASAP so that any changes to your data are made before March 23rd, and then they will show up in the Clarity software also. So, looking to see if we have any questions. Doesn't look like it. Any questions on anything we've gone over? Thoughts, concerns? Everybody's really quiet today. Okay. I think that's all we have. It's a short meeting today. If you haven't already, please type in the chat the name of your agency so that we know who attended the meeting. And we will send out an email today with the meeting minutes and the PowerPoint slides so you have the information, particularly about the action items. And other than that, that's all we have. So thanks for coming and have a great day, everybody.